My parents were way too cheap to send me to Kumon. They got a different strategy. They never let me use a calculator until I turned 15, so I can work on my brain function. That's an old school Chinese strategy. You know, so when I turned 15, it was a very special occasion. It was basically my quinceañera. My dad just gave me a TI 83 plus. And he looked me in the eyes, and he was like, "You're a woman now, okay?" But when you're a kid, when your parents tell you can't do something, what do? You rebel, right? So when I was 14 years old, I stole my brother's calculator. I stole Roy Rogers' calculator. And I locked myself in my room, and I started rebelling. I started doing math homework. Other kids were like around with like alcohol and drugs. I was up some parabolas, you know? Locked myself in a room. I was just punching in numbers. I was like, oh man, this feels great, you know? It's so wrong. It's awesome. My dad was pissed. He was knocking the other side of the door. He doesn't like locked doors in the house. And he was screaming. He was like, Jimmy, what are you doing inside? Come out right now. I know you're in there using a calculator. Come out right now. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. And he unlocked the door and he came in. I went into full panic mode, so I just threw away the calculator and I pulled down my pants. I was like, Dad, I was just jerking off. And he came in and he looked at me and then he looked at the math homework. And he was like, good, very good, very good. Very good. You must have really like math. That's good. That's good. Keep it up. Because there's nothing that will make your Asian father more proud than to see his son jerk off to his math homework.
I have two sisters. One's a doctor, one's a lawyer, and I'm this. I'm doing dry bar comedy. My mom hates me. My mom's favorite day of the year is Halloween because for one day a year, her son's a doctor. Which is very mean. My mom said, no, dude. Every time I upset her, she makes me do weird stuff, like a punishment that I don't even see coming until it happens. Last year, she made me take my cousin trick-or-treating for Halloween. I was like, of course I will. I don't care. I love Halloween. Let's go. I go pick up my cousin, an 11-year-old Indian kid. You know what he's dressed like? A Slurpee. I wanted to knock the straw off his head. I'm like, why are you dressed like a Slurpee? You're Indian. People make fun of us about this. Why would you decide to dress yourself up like a Slurpee? But I couldn't say any of that because I was dressed like Aladdin. I could say nothing. I was like, just hop on the carpet. It's gonna be a long ride. It's the worst. My mom is the boss of my family, though. I can't say no to her. My dad. I didn't realize how useless my dad was until I was 8 years old when I asked him for some permission. He apparently had no authority of giving me while my mom was out of the house grocery shopping, right? I'm 8 years old, dude. I go up to my dad. I'm like, hey, Dad, can I go play in the sprinklers? He's like, you want to go play in the sprinklers, buddy? You go ahead. You have a good time. Don't you worry, buddy. Don't you worry. I was like, I wasn't worried until you said that 3 times, Father. But now I'm very worried. Thank you. 5 minutes later, I'm the sprinklers having the time of my life, and then guess who shows up? I don't know, or my mom, like a falcon. She just lands at a sidewalk, pissed. She just shows up. She's like, hey, what do you think you're doing? I was like, I'm playing in the sprinklers. She's like, who told you? Point them out. Who told you? I would like to meet the person that told you. I just want to say hello to the person that said it was okay to play in the sprinklers. Can I meet him, please? Can I, please? I'm like, Mom, Dad told me I could play in the sprinklers. Relax. She's like, oh! your father for permission, you might as well have asked a banana. A banana, bro. And then my dad sells me out because he's scared of my mom, right? She's like, did you tell him he could play in the sprinklers? He's like, I don't even know this guy. Who is this guy? I'm like, it's your son, father. It's the worst. My mom just learned how to start text messaging people, and by people I mean me. My mom text messages me the most useless text messages in the history of text messages. I got one from her the other day, I swear to you, this is what it said, verbatim. I whip it out, it says, oh my God, the remote is not working. It goes on, same text, same thread. I think it is broken, beta. Oh, wait, never mind. I have fixed it. Don't you worry, buddy. Don't you worry. I'm like, Mom. I come home like, why would you send this after you fix the remote? Why does your text messages have Indian accents? I don't like any of this.
My dad wasn't even afraid of dogs. We had to cut through this field one time, and this Rottweiler showed up with a head the size of a bowling ball, balls. I never got it. It was literally trying to get at us through the fence, like, no, 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 just foaming at the mouth. And I was like, oh my God, we'll just walk around, obviously. I start walking, and my father goes, what are you doing? And I was like, well, I'm gonna walk around, of course, because there's a black lion here screaming, F you, in dog. Well, my father goes, no, we'll cut through. It's faster. I was like, I know, but again, we're not crows, and is what they use to guard the gates of hell, so it was just, we'll just go around. And my father, he couldn't get it. I knew he was gonna fight the dog. I knew, and I never I was like, I've never been more afraid. I was like, please don't fight the dog, please don't fight me. They bite so hard, I'll do anything, I'll carry you, anything. And my father gets in that dog's face, he just bends down right in the dog's face, and he goes like this, I'll give you one chance. And he blew in that dog's face. Whatever his satanic energy, I don't know. That dog backed up and sat down sideways. I don't know what that means in dog. Obviously it means ye may pass, so dark one. My dad opens the gate. The dog is right there. He goes, come on. Man, I stuck to him like a pilot fish on a shark. I was touching him. Walking across. And I was 28 years old. It's just not in my nature. It's unbelievable. He's a good guy, though. Like, he cared about the world. He had no prejudice, my father. None. He cared about everybody. And he would always read us things about how bad the world was. He'd ruin your day. He'd be opening presents on Christmas. On Christmas, he'd be reading some book, like Bloodlands or whatever, and he'd just look at me and he'd go, you know, in the Ukraine, in the 30s, period of about 5 years, even less, about 8.5 million people died of starvation. Had to eat each other. Enjoy your presents. It's unbelievable that way, man. And one day he was reading, we tell the story a lot. He's reading the newspaper, and it's brunch, Sunday brunch, 19 people outside, beautiful, dogs barking, sun, everything. And he's reading the newspaper, and he starts giggling. He's like, and he goes, look at this. A grown man in Colorado was attacked and killed by a mountain lion. Yes. My father goes, pussy. So I couldn't let it go. I was like, I'm so sorry to interrupt your Sunday reading. Are you under the impression that a mountain lion couldn't kill you? And my father goes, that's a stupid question. I was like, why is that a stupid question? And he goes, because first of all, a mountain lion isn't a real lion. And second of all, a mountain lion would never dare to attack me. And I was like, really? And how do you know that? And he goes, I don't know that. It knows that. Dead serious. Dead serious, man.
When I was growing up, my mom was the disciplinarian in the house. Okay, my mom's Jamaican. They beat children professionally. But what was cool about my mom is that she would never spank me at the moment I did something wrong. She would wait. She called it waiting until she had calmed down. Which sounds really good in theory. In practice, it meant I never knew when it was coming. When I would least suspect it, my mother would swoop down out of nowhere and be like, so, you want to put crayons in the washing machine? I'm like, Ma, that was 30 years ago. I think there's a statute of limitations. But you do know that as you get older, that mother-daughter relationship gets complicated, right? Yeah, and I say that because whenever I go to book club, me and my girlfriends always end up talking about our moms. Yeah, that's how book club turned into wine club. Now we just read the labels on wine bottles. Alcohol content 12%. Ladies, I think we have a bestseller. Now, I'll tell you guys, I love my mom, but I'm a daddy's girl. Yeah. That's why my favorite movie is Taken. Look, every girl wants to believe that if she gets kidnapped, her dad is gonna come for her, right? And I believe that. I believe if I got kidnapped, my dad would come for me. But my dad is 84. It's gonna take a while. He's gonna have to look for his glasses, find his car keys. He's gonna be clipping coupons trying to get a deal for me. Because my dad's a funny dude, man. I took him to the doctor, and we walk in, and I'm like, Daddy, we have been in every department here except OBGYN. And he goes, I know, take me there. Maybe I'll get lucky.
This was not my first brush with death. I was almost born feet first with an umbilical cord wrapped around my neck. And because I survived that, my parents had higher expectations for me than this. In fact, all of you guys are really part of the great nightmare. So thank you for being a part of that. I come from a very conservative background. My parents are very disappointed that I turned out to become not a doctor, you know what I'm saying? While I was recovering at Cedars-Sinai, I kept telling all of my Asian doctors that my mom was proud of them. For more drugs. Didn't work, but they appreciated it. I'm the oldest of two. I'm the only son. Both of my parents are engineers. My dad has 2 master's degrees. My mom and I have had the same phone conversation for the last 15 years, and it drives me crazy. She's just, okay, acting and comedy can just be hobby, okay? Part-time, independent contractor. Also, you don't have to be gay. Hello, excuse me, no gay. You don't have to be gay. Gay can be a hobby. Part-time. Independent contractor. Mommy love you, click. She says click, I don't know why. I got a degree in sociology from a Christian college outside of Chicago, Wheaton College in Illinois, and it is an honor to be blocked by them on Twitter. I thought God was all about honesty. I guess they can't handle the truth. Okay. They love to brag that they are the Harvard of Christian colleges. We're the Harvard of Christian colleges. Not with your Division III athletics. Also, Harvard is not walking around bragging about beating the Wheaton of libtards and sinners. So, people were like, wow, going to Christian college was really difficult, huh, Hank, because you're gay. Not for me, it wasn't. You know, I was just walking around being fabulous. Like, they were traumatized. I'm good. I wasn't a good classmate. You know, I provoked them all the time because it was so boring going there. We were in the middle of nowhere. Like, you could just say the word and they would just pass out. It was like having a superpower.
Black parents don't put no leash on their child. You know why? Because black parents don't have to put a leash on their child. Black parents put a mental leash on their child. The mental leash stretches way further than a piece of rope. And the mental leash never leaves. You know what the mental leash is? This is the mental leash. Your mother says something to you, she tell you that shit one time, and she stare at you for about 5 seconds so you know she mean that shit. You going outside to play with your friends, your mother like, don't go past that fire hydrant. And she go in the house, don't even think about your ass. And you know, don't go past that fire hydrant. You get close to the fire hydrant, you get nervous. You're like, y'all can't catch me. Oh shit. Mental leash. And it never leaves you. Every black person in here knows what I'm talking about. The mental leash never leaves you. You ready? Yeah. Black people, be in the house. Look at that. Look at that. Y'all 40, 50 years old still before the streetlights come on. Every black person in here traumatized like a motherfucker before the streetlights come on. Because the mental leash never leaves you. Your mother teach it to you, you teach it to your kids, they teach it to their kids. The mental leash, have your black ass in this house before the streetlights come on. That should be one of the black 10 commandments. If they had a black 10 commandments, that would be like number 3. Thou shalt haveth thy black ass inciteth thou house before thou streetlights cometh on. From the book of Nicolations. So I remember them days. Trying to go outside to play, my mother's like, have your ass in the house before them streetlights come on. You're like, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Now, we all not from the same place, but we from the same place. So y'all know streetlights is fucked up. Streetlights don't go off on. Streetlights on a dimmer. So you never know when to leave. You're like, me and my brothers outside playing, we gotta play and watch the light. We look up first time, lights right here, we got time. Play, look up again, lights right here, we got time. Play, look up again, lights right here. I'm like, nigga. My brother like, few more minutes. Okay, we play, we look up, lights on. Oh, shit. Get to the house. My mother coming down the stairs with that belt. I told these motherfucking kids. We run down, she crying already. I'm sorry, Mommy. My mother in the doorway. Got a slide past her like it's home plate. Ooh. I'm making it first. Look back to my brother. Safe. My brother behind me. Ooh. My slow brother halfway down the block. We like, Ricky.
Here you are, 13, 14 years old. You're the ugliest version of yourself. Look at photos of you at 14. TBT them on Instagram and you're like, woo, tough looking kid. You're ugly, bro. You are ugly at 14. Teenagers are so gross to look at, hard to see. They're hard to see, bro. They're skinny, their voices are crackling. They're wobbling over like little skinny baby giraffes, just hungry and horny, like, nasty looking creepy. They look like Tim Burton cartoons. They're barely alive. You are nasty as a child. And you're telling me at this vulnerable point in your life, God is gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna put some red pus bumps on his face. And pus bump his face up. I didn't get it, I didn't understand. I had it so bad I had to go on Accutane. You used to have to sign a form that said, I can die from this medication. What's up, guys? What are we saying? I can die from this medication? I can die from this medication. And I was underage, so I had a legal guardian, so my mother had to sign it. I was 16. I'll never forget. They slipped the sheet to my mother, and she looked at it, and then she looked at me. Yeah, this is, it's better than your face, okay? Doesn't really matter. You're an ugly kid. You're ugly. You gotta do this. It's for you. I had it so bad. I had acne so bad when I was young. When I was in high school, I played basketball for a couple years at my high school until I found out about drugs, and I was like, see you later, basketball. True story. But I played basketball for a little while. When I played basketball, I made the JV team pretty early on, and we played in a summer league, okay? In the summer league, you had to play all the other schools that you were going to play in that regular season. And I'll never forget, we went out to West Aurora to go play these guys, and they were supposed to beat us. They were like a really good school, right? They were really good. They were an all-black school. We were a some-black school. They were gonna beat us. Bottom line, they were gonna win. And we went out there, and we beat the shit out of these guys. I had the game of my life. I dropped 4 points. I was on fire. If you know anything about high school basketball, 4 points is like, whoa, what are you, MVP? Final score, 12-2. It was a blowout. So anyway, we went out there. I had a great game. I was on cloud 9. I felt like a king. And I left, and I went out to the hallway to go get a drink of water. Getting a drink of water, bending down by the water fountain, having a drink of water. A little black kid, like 8 years old, walks in the hallway, comes up to me and goes, hey, yo, white boy. White boy. I go, what's up? Pretty good, man. Oh, thanks, man. He goes, full white boy. And I was still like, thank you. I appreciate that.